Welcome to the Beehive. We got Antonio Depina about 2 minutes in, but first, my theme song.
You're now entering the Beehive with your host, Double B.
Welcome to the Beehive. I'm your host, Double B, aka Bobby. And today we're talking to Antonio Depina from the Netflix series The Circle. And this was a reality show, not the usual kind of show I would get into, but thoroughly entertaining. And he was a big part of the show for several episodes. He was the first influencer. And, I think it's one thing when you see people and you see little clips of them on a show, but it's a whole different thing when you talk to them and get to hear what they're all about. He's an entrepreneur. He's making an app to connect basketball players with teams overseas. He's a cool dude. So check it out. Welcome to the Beehive. Our guest today is Antonio Depina, who was on the show The Circle and was just a real highlight of the show. So thank you for joining us, Antonio.
No problem, man.
It's great to have you here. I loved the show. It's not the typical show I would get into, but after a few episodes, I was just totally drawn in.
Nah, man. It is, though. It's crazy.
How did you first get linked up with that? Or I don't even know how people get on reality shows.
Nah, man, it's a long story, bro, but I'm going to sum it up for you, all right? So basically, I was on Instagram one night, and I saw an ad that said, apply to be on The Circle, things like that. And, it's a new show, so I had no idea what The Circle was. I filled out the application halfway. I don't even think I even finished it. I just submitted it. And the day of the audition, it was in Philadelphia. They called me and said, hey, are you still coming to the audition? I went to the audition because I didn't even I was like, what? I'm going to an audition. I'd never done nothing like this before. And then I just went. They asked me about my life. And then that was it. They just flew me to LA after that, went for round 2. And then a week before, they was filming, they just said, you got it. Come on.
Wow. Amazing. What inspired you? Just you thought that would be fun?
Bro, I don't even know. It's just it's one of those things where you just don't understand. It just happens. It just goes with the flow.
One thing that intrigued me about the show was the house you were all in. Where is that house? And is it all really shot in one place like that?
Yeah, pretty much. We filmed in the UK. I don't know if you knew this. And it was in a big building. It was like their corporate building. It wasn't even like a house or like a real apartment. It was just a building, and they made it look like it was apartments.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting looking place. And so what's it like? Are you just isolated there all day? Or how much of what you see on the show is what it's really like?
The show, really, we got there. We were there for a month. We flew to the UK. We was there for a month. And the first 2 weeks, we wasn't in that house. The first 2 weeks, we could do whatever we wanted. We had a bodyguard with us, chaperone, if you would say. We could do whatever we wanted. It was in Manchester. We just couldn't run into each other. So we had tracking devices on our bodyguards. So we can go anywhere we wanted, go to the club, anything. But after those 2 weeks, they said they picked the first 8 people to go on the show. There's 30 of us there, and then they picked 8 to go on the show first. You didn't get to go on the show. There's more people who just never got on. You lost, you get to go back with your chaperone into your real apartment and just chill there until the finale.
Well, I'll admit when I first started watching, I saw you on there, and part of it kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little I'm like, oh, this guy's just so handsome, so cool. You grew on me. I definitely liked you by the final episode. But at first, I think just as a guy, you always have that kind of comparing yourself to other people. And I was like, oh, this guy just thinks he's hot shit or something. But like I said, I ended up liking you at the end. But was it a challenge being handsome?
I wouldn't say it was a challenge or anything. I don't even think I'm handsome. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the show they wanted to portray me as a basketball player.
Yeah.
And so when I got on the show, I couldn't really. They would every morning they would ask us to talk to who do you want to talk to today, and I wanted to talk to Chris, Joey, Shuby, things like that. And they would just say, noted. You know what I mean? And then they would say, hey, Mercedes wants to talk to you. Or, hey, Semi wants to talk to you. They never let me talk to guys. It was pretty weird. But I feel like that's what they were trying to get at. But
Yeah.
it was
Did you like how you were portrayed on the show? Do you think that was true to who you are?
To an extent, yes. It was definitely to an extent. I feel like I didn't get to talk about things I do. For example, in the beginning we had to do our intros. They said, tell us what you do. And I said, professional basketball player / entrepreneur. They said, stop right there. Take up the entrepreneur, just say pro basketball player. And then, just talk about certain things, they just wouldn't let it fly. So it was cool.
So what is a day like? Like, are you just sort of hanging out in your apartment? Do they set up the shots? Like, are you constantly doing things, or are you just hanging out?
Yeah, I mean, Netflix, they pretty much told us that we couldn't do, well, they said we couldn't, first of all, we didn't have our phones. We couldn't have our, we couldn't, there was no clocks in the room, so we didn't know what time it was. What else? We just really just did anything. We had to read books, do crossword puzzles, and then we would just wait for the alert on the TV. And then somebody's talking to us, like they had like a producer with like a microphone on the roof, on the like ceiling, and they would just talk to us, say, hey, what's going on? Or he would be like, Antonio, wake up real quick. Something's about to pop up on the screen. Act surprised. And that's where we would go.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
So it's pretty true to reality. It's not like they're like scripting what you're going to say beforehand. You're just going off the top.
Just going off the top, but they're giving you suggestions. They're like, you sure you want to say it like that? You want to say it like this before you send? They're giving you suggestions. But yeah, that's really it. I think they give more suggestions. They're like leaning you to do something, to do it.
Mm-hmm. How cool. I know at the beginning of the show, you mentioned that you had been catfished in real life or regular life. What's that story? When were you catfished?
Oh man, I was catfished like a long time ago, man. Like I was like, I think I was on something, a dating app or something, and then I went to meet the girl and she looked nothing like she was like on the pictures.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to be rude with somebody like that. So, I was just like, we could still, eat dinner or something or have fun, but it was totally not what I expected at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, catfishing is kind of like a problem in society now, or, people use it to like get credit card information or carry on these long relationships that it really isn't the person. And you met the catfish, you met Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel about that? Like, I know it's just a game, but part of you must have felt sort of like you tricked me,
Bro, it was crazy. Because in the game, somebody's a catfish. Let's be honest. Like, somebody here is who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a good feeling it was Mercedes because her first picture was extremely filtered. Like,
yeah.
So I'm like, it was really her. She would have a clear picture of herself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It would be really clear picture of herself. So I'm like, she has to be the catfish. But I was trying to build alliances, bro. I was trying to build alliances with the women. They didn't show you guys, but there was we had a men's chat, Bros Before Hoes. And talked about saving each other in that chat.
Mm-hmm.
Decent, but yeah, we talked about saving. So I was like, I need to build alliances with the women because my bros already have my back. Little behold, I thought they had my back. You know what I mean? So build alliance with her, but I knew she was a catfish. I had a feeling.
Yeah. Do you think Shoe Bomb is really how he presents himself? Like, he seems like, just this nice, silly guy. But then watching the show, I was like, maybe this is just a little bit of a character and he's more conniving than you would expect him to be. Like, he's the smartest dude where he's just tricking us all.
Nah, Shuby is he's actually more funny in person. Like, he's a hilarious guy. I think he's doing comedy now.
Oh, yeah?
Super funny, man. Like, give Shuby a few drinks and he'll show you his true self. He'll be funny as hell.
Mm-hmm. I got this question from Kimia Dawson, who's a big hero in our city, Olympia, Washington. Are you still keeping in touch with the other members from the circle?
Yeah. We actually talked yesterday. We talk every day. We have a group chat. We just talk. And in February, we went to Miami. We all linked up in Miami and had fun. We're supposed to go to LA this month, but obviously we can't. But hopefully when it's all over, we can go to LA.
Yeah. This must have just dramatically changed your life, I think. Like, do you have hundreds of women just hitting you up on Instagram every day wanting to talk, or?
Something like that, man. It's because Netflix, the show is worldwide, so people in like Australia can see it.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It's weird because I think it's because it's a UK show, and Netflix agreeing with them was they couldn't show it in the UK because it'll deter their UK version of it. So
Mm.
it's everywhere except UK. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. How that seems, you had a girlfriend, or you said you did at the start of the show. That seems like that would be intimidating for a girlfriend to see you flirting and then all these people from around the world hitting you up now. Are you all
Right.
still together? And if so, how is she dealing with all this?
Yeah, we're together. But I feel like the show wasn't like a show that would compromise your integrity, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like I was kissing and we had to, find love or nothing like that. It was like we're in our own rooms. We have to build alliances. So it wasn't like I was gonna literally see the girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like I
Yeah.
was find love on the show. But she handled it pretty well. She knew it was a game, and she knew at the end of the day it's to win money and to it's a game show pretty much. So I
Yeah.
would I wouldn't feel away either. You know what I mean?
That's one thing I appreciated about the show, or a lot of television, it feels tense.
Mm,
And I just liked how relaxing it was, or it's sort of like there's some drama to it. But like you said, it's not like people are kissing or there's some really backstabby thing happening. Like it was all just very relaxing in a
right,
way.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Good.
how, how has your life changed since being on the show?
Um, my life hasn't really changed much, to be honest. I still do the same things I did before the show. As far as like social media, I want to say that has changed more so because just the perception of being on reality TV. Social media is everything nowadays. So
Yeah.
now people see me to be this big star or like this big reality guy, but really I'm just the same guy. I still live in like Delaware, still live in my apartment. I'm moving to Miami at the end of May. But other than that, man, my whole life is the same. I still do my business ventures, still play basketball, do things like that.
How cool. Well, I want to talk a little bit about you, the person, because you have the circle, but then you're also a pro basketball player. You've traveled and played all around the world. Um, how did you even start doing that?
After college, I figured out my coach, we talked, and he said you should go pro, and he played in the NBA. So we figured out a way to find an agent, and that's really what it was, man. Every basketball player's dream is to play professional basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just like, man, I'll give it a shot, and God willing, I got my first opportunity in Portugal, and it just took off from there, man.
How old were you when you went out there?
I was 22.
Wow. It seems like that would be really exciting in a way, just finally getting to go pro and go to a new country, but then also challenging of like you don't have your family, you don't have your friends. What was it like when you first went out there?
Honestly, my family, they're from different countries. Like, so I have immigrant mother and father. So it was pretty normal to me because I speak a little bit of Portuguese. So when I went to Portugal, I could understand a little bit. But my next country I went to was Spain. So I lived in Barcelona. I didn't speak any Spanish. But the culture is just culturally different, man. If you can accept different cultures, you'll be fine anywhere. I feel as though
Yeah.
if you're like less cultural, like you don't want to eat the food, and you find some people are like that.
Yeah.
Then you have a good time, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's incredible. So you talked a little bit about you got an agent and then got out there, but it seems like there's a lot of people almost scamming people that are trying to fulfill a dream like that, like going pro or being like, oh, $500, there's this thing in Las Vegas, come out and compete or audition. Or it seems like there's a lot of challenges for people who are trying to get out there and become an athlete. And you're doing something to work on that a little bit, right?
Yep, yep, yep. So basically, I created an app that connects the basketball player to the professional basketball team without the use of an agent. And you pretty much hit it on the nose. There's a lot of people getting scammed out here. A lot of people, paying for fake visas that they'll never get and going to these fake camps. So I wanted to put an end to that and make a platform for players worldwide to connect with these professional basketball teams.
So how does the app work?
Similar to, where Indeed is, like where you find a job, Indeed.com, I think it is.
Yeah.
It's similar to that, where pro teams, they actually get to put their job openings, so like a professional basketball opening. So it'll be like, for example, say Spain, point guard needed, the pay, apartment included, and what the type of player they need. And you just swipe and apply, and they'll see your profile. If they want to sign you, they'll message you to sign you. And it's that simple, man. We're just cutting out the agent because a lot of companies are doing that nowadays. And I feel like for example, Uber cut out the taxi,
Yeah.
cut out Blockbuster. I'm not saying I'm going to get rid of every agent because Uber never got rid of every taxi, if that makes sense. But it's just
less taxis nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, props on you for doing that, or that's incredible. How is the app doing? Are you getting a lot of traction behind it so far?
Man, yeah, I released the early access program where players can put their information in, phone numbers, emails, things like that. We have 20,000 people, 20,000 players already signed up for that. App released May 30th. So I think it's going to be dope. I think it's going to be huge, to be honest.
Yeah. I run a small business, or I lead a nonprofit here in Olympia, Washington. There's a lot of struggles with just trying to lead a business. Are there any hurdles you've had to go through with this?
So many, man. Come on, as a business owner yourself, it's always unexpected things that always come up. And I'm expecting more unexpected things that come up. You know what I mean? So a big thing that happened to me was I hired a developer. I tried to be cheap, and I know I shouldn't have. I hired a developer in Pakistan to work on the app. And I ran off for like $2,000 of mine, and I never got it back. So that just put me back a little bit. It was like back in December. And yeah, it's just one of those learning curves. You just gotta take it to the chin. Like it's one of those, you just gotta take it and move on.
Well, good luck with it. I'm really excited to see what it turns into, and we can all kind of hear about it now as it's developing.
Yeah.
Do you have any interesting stories from playing overseas, or just something crazy happened when you got out there?
Where do I start, man? There's so many stories, man. I don't know if you've ever been to Europe. Well, when I went to Europe, I went to Spain. I think this is when I went to Spain. And Barcelona is like the Vegas of Europe. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna go out tonight. We're gonna go have fun. Excuse me, me and my teammate, we're gonna have fun. But little did I know that Spain, they go out at 2 a.m. when their like clubs really start.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. I never knew that, man. So I'm like, we're getting ready. We're going to the club. I get ready at like 10:30, and my friend is like, bro, what are you doing? It's 10:30, man. We don't go out till like 1 here. I'm like, so what do we do till then? And he just brought out a case of beer and he said, we drink.
We pregame, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone must just be trashed by that point. Like if you're going out at 1.
I didn't even get to go, man. It was crazy. I was my first time. I was like, man, I can't even make it out this apartment, man. Mm-hmm. So yes, I get accustomed to that life, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. Wow. So I think a lot of ways the circle is very timely right now because of COVID. Like everyone's kind of living in the circle.
Yep.
Does this remind you of your time on the show right now?
No, because on the show I didn't have any way to communicate with people. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't text. I couldn't make a TikTok. You know what I mean? I couldn't do anything, man. So if they really want to live the circle life, that means they have to cut off all communication, no TV. Literally, you sit on your couch and you just wait for the alert. Literally, that's all you do. It wasn't even really voice activated or anything. Like, you have to wait. Like, that stuff was fake.
Well, how are you handling this situation? Are you mostly isolating, or what's going on in your life right now?
I've been isolating somewhat. I still try to handle my day-to-day tasks and things I have to do outside of the house. But I try to stay healthy, man. I eat a lot of healthy foods, and I protect myself. I wear my mask and my gloves, and I sanitize. Just do everything to protect myself, because believe it or not, I feel like the coronavirus isn't really going anywhere anytime soon. Mm-hmm. Everyone's hopeful it will, but I feel like it's gonna come in waves, like a flu, something like that, until we have a vaccine.
It's just a difficult time in the world right now where a lot of people are suffering or struggling. People are not able to work and things. You know, the circle is very popular and a lot of people care what you have to say. What would be your message to just everyone that's really going through it right now?
My message to everyone going through it would be just stay the course. You know, it's gonna get better. You know, everything always gets better through time. There's nothing I've seen that has gotten terrible through time. Everything always gets better. Everyone who just lost their job. You know, I've been affected with it. My family members have lost their jobs. My best friends lost their jobs. Just stay the course. You know, it's always gonna get better. And hopefully Trump gives us some more money.
Do you have future media aspirations? Like, do you want to get on another show or you could host a sports show or something?
Nah, man, I don't. I had no aspiration to do reality TV in the first place. But you know, it just happened that way. But I have no really desire to do any more TV, any more reality TV. If another opportunity came, I mean, a few have already come. It was like mainly like lovey shows. Like I don't know if I'm allowed to even tell you the shows, but a few love shows came to me,
Uh-huh.
to try to get me on the shows. But I was like, it was just sort of look right if I did those type of shows because I'm trying to build a company here, and you don't see Jeff Bezos on Love Island or things like that. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
wasn't professional, if that makes sense. So I
Hmm.
didn't do a show like that and just come off like really, really bad.
That makes sense. That would be hard to pass up in a way too, but I guess what you're saying is right. You're an entrepreneur. Let's go back to the circle a little bit. Were there any interesting stories that happened that they didn't show on air?
Yeah, there's a few actually, believe it or not. You know how reality TV you have confessionals?
Hmm.
We did confessionals and they never posted them.
Wow.
I don't know if they'll ever post them, but we had to do confessionals. I remember having to talk about my day and saying, talk about this time when Joey and me was arguing. We had to talk about it, say, oh, F that guy. Like we really had confessionals. Like it was really dope. And they never posted. I feel like they should have posted it because you would have really got a chance to really see everyone's really like, you know what I mean? They're themselves
Mhm.
beyond the camera. Like you really get to see Joe. You really get to see Miranda. You really get to see Bill and everyone, how they act outside of
Yeah.
it. Like, you know, professional. So it would be really dope. I don't know if they'll ever like release it, you know, as deleted scenes or like extras. But we did that. And then I had a breakfast brunch with Sammy on the show. Like after our first influencer, because me and her were the first influencers, they gave us brunch and we had to talk through like, you know, the thing. And they never posted that either. I was like, what the heck? Like they just deleted all those scenes.
Ugh. Well, yeah, and at the beginning of the show, you were, I mean, super doing strong. You were one of the influencers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that seems like a tough place to be. What did you think when you first became an influencer?
Did it, man. I didn't want to be the first one. I feel like that put a target on your back. Like you can't be the first influencer. Like
Hmm.
that's worse. Like I was like, damn, like I'm the first influencer. Now everyone's gonna try to get me out. Like I wanted to be like third or fourth, like not too high, but not too low. Like that would be perfect because then you're not like you're really like just trending. You're just
Yeah.
going through the. You know what I mean? But the first influencer put a target on my back, especially when we sent a girl home first. It almost made them have to send a guy home the next time.
Do you think if you could do this whole experience again, would you have adjusted your strategy in any way? Or it's like, oh, I should have done that? Or,
Would have definitely adjusted the strategy, been more low key. But what I've noticed, I don't think anybody has noticed yet. In every season of the circle, there's a pattern. I don't know if I'm going to tell. Now I'm going to tell you. There's a pattern that you have to
okay,
follow.
future circle contestants can look to this.
Yes, yes. If you watch the circle and you get on the circle, there's a huge pattern. You have to realize every single season I've seen, when they vote someone off, it goes boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. So if you're on the show and you don't want to get voted off and you're an influencer, if I didn't want to get voted off, I'm going to vote a boy off. So the next time they'll vote a girl off and I can have another day in the circle. So you have to watch this pattern. Every show, watch every single show. There's the same way they do it. It's like subconsciously, that's what we do. If somebody votes a girl, vote a guy off. It's like, I don't know, subconsciously, but that's how the circle went.
Yeah. You must have been stoked though. You must have been so thrilled.
I was happy, man, because I'm on Netflix. Like, nobody I know where I live right now is ever been on Netflix or may ever get on Netflix. Nobody, period. A lot of people, period, will never do that. So it was really dope and really different because I don't know how many basketball players ever even did reality TV.
Yeah. Well, you've had all these interesting things in your life. You've played pro sports, you're making the app, you got on a Netflix show. I'm sure there must have been challenges along that path. Like, did you ever have a time when you were kind of on the rise where you thought, I should just give up on this, or any
Too
moments
many,
like that?
so many times, man. People only see what you do, that's in the limelight, but they don't know like the journey. I feel like that most definitely. I've had a lot of times, man. I just wanted to give up, man. When I came home from overseas, the first time I took a chance on myself, man. I didn't even play that the next season because I was like, man, I want to start a real estate company. People I knew was just like, man, are you dumb? You have a chance to go pro again. You don't want to go? You want to go start a real estate company? I was like, yeah. Like a lot of people just don't believe in it. People didn't even believe in my app idea. Like I had people I just was like, man, let's get on this app. People I wanted to partner with. And I was like almost forced to do it by myself, man.
Hmm.
Because nobody believed in it. They was like, it's not going to work. Now they believe in it because I actually have a lot of teams interested in are going to get on the app. And it's going to be dope, man. It is so hard to get it off because I had to do everything myself, fund it, and apps are expensive.
Yeah, I'm sure. Were your parents real entrepreneurial like that, or where did you get this kind of driven spirit?
My mom's an entrepreneur. She owns a nonprofit where she helps fathers that get out of prison reconnect with their families and just be better dads. You know, her motto is better dads, better lives, and she feels like the in the city where more fathers are in their lives, it tends to help the children. You know what I mean? Help the children be better people, be better people, just be the better men in the community and things like that. So yeah, my dad was just he works a regular 9 to 5.
Yeah. Wow. So your mom just started that nonprofit. That's amazing too. And that's so true that when you have, I also worked with youth and foster care for 7 years. And it's like when you have caring adults present, that's makes such a difference.
Yeah, yeah,
Good
definitely.
on her for doing that.
Yeah, I feel her on that. I feel like more so the father.
Mm. Hmm.
Never really seen like a bad kid whose father was in his life. There might have been some, but one that whose father is really in their life, it's really hard to find.
Yeah.
Even if you look back, and there's a lot of kids like single mothers and things like that, but people whose father is actually in their life, it's like they really tend to stay on a straight path.
Yeah. Well, I think you don't even have to be like the perfect parent
Yeah,
either. Like just being present and trying your best makes a huge difference.
definitely, definitely. I feel that 100%.
Hmm. So what music are you listening to these days, or who are some of your favorites?
I listen to a lot of I just listen to Drake's new album. I like Rick Ross, Meek Mill, listen to some Nipsey Hussle. I listen to a lot of things, man. A lot of rap music, a lot
Mm.
of R&B. That's really it.
Yeah. Who do you think is like the best right now?
The best, man. I'm from Delaware. I'm like dang near Philly, so I like Meek Mill.
Hmm.
Meek Mill, yeah.
Do you think part of your mission, I ask a lot of people this because I'm from South Bend, Indiana, and I feel like no one represents for South Bend, Indiana, and
Hmm.
so we have to kind of advocate and fight for it and let people know it's a cool place. Do you feel like, having traveled the world and done everything you do, is it important to you to represent Delaware, or because you've lived everywhere it's not like that?
Nah, I always represent Delaware, man. I that's just where I'm from. So everywhere I go, if people ask me where you from, I say Delaware. No, man, people don't even know what that is. They say you're the first guy I ever met from Delaware, and just cool. You know what I mean? Just extraordinary. We're just one in a million. So I love where I'm from, and I always represent. I always come back. I always help kids from here. So
What makes Delaware a unique place?
well, I'm glad you asked. We have no taxes here. Boom, blew your mind. There's no
Woo!
tax. We go to Wendy's, we get a 4 for $4. It's actually $4, nothing more.
Uh-huh. Do
Crazy.
they take that out of your paycheck to make up
Nope.
for it? No?
We just have no sales tax. It's kind of dope.
Hmm. I'm in Washington, where we have like a 10% sales tax on everything.
If you buy an iPhone, it's way more money.
Yeah.
That's
We, we just go to Portland, or go, if
yeah.
you're buying a car or something, it's insane.
Oh my God, I can only imagine. Yeah. No, come to Delaware, man.
Uh-huh. Even groceries, it's a real pain.
Oh, I can only imagine, man. I'm glad I live here. I don't have to deal with that at all.
Yeah. What's the community like, or what's any interesting things going on out there?
Um, just normal stuff. Just normal East Coast stuff, man. Like we're just calm people, you know. Everybody tends to mind their business here, and we just go with the flow here. I think that's what it is. Just like I don't want to say elderly people state, but
Hmm.
it's a quiet state, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, what was your dad like? Like we talked a little bit about your mom, but how did your dad influence you?
My dad is a real cool guy. Mainly he's like I never see my dad really angry. He's from another country. He's from a country called Cape Verde, and just him getting to America was just amazing feat. You know what I mean? So he just always happy, man. He just does everything with a smile. He's funny, and yeah, and I just he just supports me now, so it's dope.
What do you think is important for what makes a good pro athlete, like someone who can actually make it? Because every kid wants to be a pro basketball player, and very few get to do it. So, are there like common traits, or
Um, I feel like a pro basketball player is someone who works on his craft. And that's a pro in general. Just someone who works on what they love to do, which is their craft, and someone who's professional, man. You can't go overseas in Europe and just be ignorant. You know what I mean? Because you won't have a long career.
you think hard work outdoes talent?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like yeah, it depends. That's real tricky because some talented people don't work hard and they're really really good. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
But in the long run, yes, yes, for sure.
Well, do you have any kind of closing thoughts or things you want to share with everyone that's seen the circle or is interested in your app and everything?
Yeah, man. Everyone keeps asking me how to get on the circle, what their strategy should be, man. I would tell people now, since everyone keeps asking me, I'm gonna say it now. If you want to get on the circle, your strategy must be different than the first seasons. They're not gonna cast you if you're just, oh, I'm gonna be my girlfriend. Oh, I'm gonna be a catfish. Like, make it different. You know what I mean? Make it different and be yourself times 10. You have to be extra. They're gonna want to outdo the first season, so you want to have someone way more energetic than the first season. But be yourself. You know what I mean? And make your strategy different. Don't just be a catfish. Say I'm to be a catfish. Like, do something different. Like, say you're gonna come back and be a catfish that's gonna be Antonio and act like you're me, and that's different. And act
Uh-huh.
like you're getting revenge or something like that. It's just different. So
Yeah.
just be different.
Do you think there's social media is dangerous in a way, or it's making us less connected? Like, are there problems with social media, or do you think it's fine?
I believe social media is fine. I believe social media is fine, but there are times of social media. Well, social media is pretty much all the way. It's okay and it's necessary.
Mhm.
Sometimes social media people tend to perceive that it's real life. Like if you see some 18-year-old with a Lambo, you're think, oh my gosh, his life is so perfect. Why can't that be me? But that's not the case. You know what I mean? It's just a perception thing with Instagram and social media, and people need to get away from that and just live their own life.
Do you think it can be addictive in a way? Like, I think of times where it's like you make a post and then you get a ton of likes, and that's like a little endorphin rush. Like, do you feel that? I mean, how many Instagram followers do you have? Like 150,000?
Yeah, yeah, somewhere along the lines of that. But I realized that it's only because I was on TV, man. If you was on Netflix, I'm pretty sure you have 100K followers too. You know what I mean? That's why I don't really get too big headed about things like that. Because honestly, I swear to everything, I was on live before this whole Netflix thing happened, and I had like, I think 4,000 followers, and I went on live and I had like 2 people join my live. Now, if I hop on live right now, I can have at least 100 to 200 people, and
Wow.
it's just a Netflix thing. I don't get too hype over the fake love, I call it, or the that like the Netflix buzz, or you know what I mean. I just live my life regular, and I know it's not real, so I just
Mhm.
keep going.
Well, just congratulations on everything you've done. Or it just seems like you've had an incredible path. And for doing all this, you're only 24 years old, right?
I just turned 25 a few months ago.
25. So, I mean, you're ahead of the game. You're doing great. So, Just congratulations, and thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I really appreciate you, making it happen. So just wishing you good luck with everything.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, for real.
Cool. There you have it, Antonio Depina. I mean, he could be the next Jeff Bezos, or, who knows what he's going to do. Next week, we're going to be talking with Cupid, the man who wrote the song The Cupid Shuffle. I mean, that it's a hit, like every wedding, every family reunion, every, club. So many people have danced to the Cupid Shuffle. It's the modern day Macarena. So we're going to be talking with the actual Cupid of the Cupid Shuffle. It's going to be cool. So we'll see you next week. Peace.